Okay, got another old outboard for you. This one I think is a 1960 18 horsepower Elgin. Or Elgin, I don't know. I say Elgin. I don't know. I'm going with Elgin. Yeah, I got this guy for 40 bucks. The carburetor was in a bag, but I think it's all there, minus a few O-rings. So I already put that together. I have compression tested it. And yeah, it had no spark. It looked like the guy who had it previously tried to rig up a kill switch or something like that. I don't know. We're gonna pop off the flywheel today and see if we can get this thing to spark and maybe spray some gas down the cylinder and get it to run for a couple seconds. And if we do that, then we'll get to the lower unit and do all this other stuff to make sure it can be water worthy. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, so first let's take a look at it under the hood. This is pretty neat. The way it opens up. It's got like a dashboard on the front. I put it in gear. It goes in and out of gear. There's the choke. It's not connected to the car right now. But this is how you take off the hood, and it's pretty funky, if you ask me. But yeah, let's take a look here. It's got cams and throttle cables to adjust the throttle and the advance here. So all these pulleys, the cable hooks under here and pulls the advance or pushes the advance back and forth as it throttles up there. Yeah, I said I checked compression already. I had 110 in both cylinders, and that doesn't look factory. I don't know what's going on in there, but this wire, I don't think it belongs there. There's nothing to connect it to. I think there'd be a kill switch on our fancy dashboard. Oh, here's something else that's cool. It's like access to the carburetor under this little hatch. Ahead of their time, I don't know. Yeah, so we'll see if we can, if we don't need a kill switch and you can just choke it out, that'll be fine. I'll be happy with that. And I don't know if I want to sell this or keep it as a kicker for my boat. We'll see. I got a 16-foot Starcraft, and this thing idles low enough and drives slow enough. I might just keep it just for the coolness factor of it, or maybe it's a boat anchor. I could always use another anchor on my boat. Yeah, so let's take off this flywheel. If I were a gambling man, I'd say 3/4, like all the other flywheels. I cleaned up my workbench for you guys. I could feel the collective ire with everyone not so silently judging me, so and it's good for me. So now I have a puller. We got 3. Oh. There's no threads on that. Interesting. These aren't threaded, but see that? Usually those have threads in them, but I don't see any threads in there. Am I supposed to pry at it and hit it up with a hammer? That seems kind of bush league. I don't know, I'll need a second to figure this out, and then I'll set you back up. Okay, so I saw another fella try and thread these holes, but he just stripped them out with his puller, and they look really close together, so I don't think the puller I got will work for it. So I got this pry bar here. I'm going to pry up on it, start with the rubber mallet, maybe try knocking the crankshaft with the metal hammer if that doesn't work, but let's see. Okay, so I wedged this guy onto the flywheel like that. I didn't want to beat on the crankshaft too much, so I'm going to try a block of wood and get out a couple whacks, then maybe try under the flywheel. I don't know. We'll see. I didn't want to beat on the crankshaft too much, so I'm going to try a block of wood and get out a couple whacks, then maybe try under the flywheel. I don't know. We'll see. It's maple or something, so it's pretty hard. There you go. That was challenging, but we got her. I'm going to drill holes in this guy so I don't have to do that again. And we all learned something. Looks pretty clean. The key. The key remains good, so that's a win. So first I'm going to see if they even open and close. The points there. Maybe I should look at this kill switch. That actually kind of looks like it's supposed to be there. There's the points. Let's see if it wants to move. I'll set you up better than this. Okay, gotta look at one of the points there. So we'll see if these things open and close and what the gap looks like. A little burnt looking under here. A couple spiders. But otherwise, it looks pretty clean. Set them at 20 thousandths. We can do that. Okay, this one should start opening. And it does not look like it's at 20,000. It looks about half that. The other one you can't see it, but it looks pretty. It looks pretty. That one doesn't look too bad. They look a little beat up though. Yeah, it's not even close to 20,000. So that one's at a time. That one looks pretty narrow too. And the coils look good, but that usually means nothing. But I'm curious about what is going on here. It's grounded. I bet you it's a kill wire ground. If I were to guess. It goes under. The brown wire here. You see that? This brown wire. It goes under the coil. Maybe the coil's pinching it or something. I can't even see how it's connected. Is there a screw under it? I don't know. Looks like a slotted screwdriver. Does it all sit on a plate? So should I just run a file between the points and see if that works? The little oiler's not doing too hot. And those aren't even touching the cam. Maybe they just need like lubrication. Well, it definitely needs to be adjusted, but I just want to see if it runs before I really commit a ton of time to it. That's not touching the cam. It's starting to open now. I don't think that one's touching the cam either. And it's just starting to open now. And that gap looks pretty small. Yeah, I'm gonna try and clean it. Let's see if that helps. Lots of room to open them. Let's see. I should probably keep the Woodruff key in so I don't mess up the cam, eh? Or the placement of it. They're pretty yucky. There's one. I'll get some paper. One here. Whitcomb. That looks like the highest part. You adjust it there. Got my handy dandy feeler gauge. 4, 6, and 10. Set at 20. So you crack the screw that it pivots on, and there's like an adjuster screw that moves them back and forth, I think. Or maybe just do it with the screwdriver. Oh, there's a little notch there to move them. Okay, here we go. We'll call that 20 right there. It looks a lot better. And when you tighten it back up, sometimes you lose your gap. So you gotta check to make sure you're close again. And that's pretty good. Okay. Let's do the one you can see. Now that I practiced on the one you couldn't. So I think that's my highest point on the cam, right there. That better? Yeah. So here's where this part here rides on the cam, and we line up that arm with the highest point on the cam, and then we make our gap. You can see there's almost no gap at all with this one. So let's let's work on that. So I got this screw here, and crack that, and this one. And you got these two notches. Can you guys see that? Yeah, I can see it. These notches here, you wedge your flat screwdriver in between, and then you can move them back and forth when you turn the screwdriver. So let's give that a whirl. Moves them in. This moves them out. I didn't clean those ones yet, which I will do now. So I'm just using, I don't know, it's like 220 sandpaper or something. There's a school that thought where you shouldn't use sandpaper, and I agree, but in this instance, I'm treating that school more like the pirate code, more like a guideline than a rule. But the whole thing looks really clean. Looks like it's lived a good life. And it has compression and turns. It goes in and out of gear. The guy just couldn't get spark on it, so hopefully we can fix that. And it's point, so it's not going to be too hard. And I've looked it up, and the coils can be got, as well as the condensers and everything else. The carb's pretty funky on this. We'll look at that in a bit. But for tonight, we're just trying to get spark. It's a Tillotson carb, or Tillotson carb. It's interesting. The float, the float that actuates the needle, it floats horizontally, but the needle is horizontal as well. So the tang that pushes the needle in, it's kind of like at a 90-degree angle to the float. I don't know if it's to save space or make room or whatever, but I had to triple take it, and since it all came in a bag, I had to kind of figure out how to put it all together. Which I did, and then saw a diagram showing how to on the internet, so I confirmed I got it right at least. Or, I hope. Just run some paper through there. I need more lights, don't I? Now. A depressing amount of brake fluid right now. We'll have to do. This guy. Okay, now we can set these. So we got this. We're gonna move the points in and out. Yeah, the the cam is still where it needs to be. Yeah, the Woodruff key sets this cam here. It's not in it right now, but if it was all out of whack, then I'd make sure to get that back in there, but it's looking fine for now. So you open them, insert, yawn, feeler gauge, and it says set to 20. I just want a bit of drag on it, which I think we got there. After I get this going, I'll hit it with a timing light to see how good it is. That's pretty good. I don't think you gotta. Yeah, still good. Okay, cool. You don't have to like reef on them to tighten them down. We want to make sure they stay down because you don't want your points getting out of time. Let's take a look here. There. They're closed. It's going to start to open. There it is. And that gap looks much healthier than before. Coolness. Despite what I said before, I'm going to lightly put the flywheel back on just so I can pull it and see if I got spark. So, I will return. So now, I'm going to put the flywheel on. First, I'm just going to see if I can get any continuity with the spark plug wires. If I remember, it should be, without getting in there, one of these leads should be a connection, at least show resistance anyway. Try this one. Okay. This guy. They're the same. So this is the, oh, I gotta mark these. That's the bottom. Bottom. That's a B. Oh, there's a little band on here. Shows the top. Okay, it says top. Okay, and then this one. Okay, it's the same as the other, so that kind of bodes well unless they're both not working. It works. But spark plug. I put some fluid film. I hope that's a good enough barrier against getting this guy stuck like last time again, but it should pop off a lot easier because I'm not even going to really tighten it down. At least be able to take it off with the rubber mallet this time. Okay, there you go. Okay, that should be. Okay, this spark plug. Oh, that came with it. I don't know if that works or not. I think this one works. It looks like this. I don't know. Looks like the original plugs. You can probably see this better than I can, so Let's see. I hope it sparks. That would be neat. It's just points needed cleaning. It's often the case. I saw a spark. That's pretty dope. Now the Bendix doesn't want to jump up. Yeah, it's sparking now. That's good. So the top one, top cylinder sparks. Let's try the bottom. My hopes are high for this guy too. The Bendix I hear is a pain. There's something amiss here. Needs a bit of drag or something on it. Maybe it needs a flywheel to drag on with it. Or it needs to be done properly. Anyway. Yes, that's sparking. That is awesome. That is always a win. Okay, so I'm going to throw some premix down the holes and see if this beauty wants to fire up. That's awesome. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, so they say always leave something better than you left it, so I am going to tap these holes so I don't have to mess with the flywheel like I did before. It looks like 1/4 inch threads. That's going to match my tap to this bolt, and I'll come back with a drill, and I'm just going to drill right through. Their holes are blind. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I'll be back. Okay, so I got one hole tapped and I didn't record it, but luckily I got 2 more. I was just going to show you guys one anyway. So here comes the next one. I'm using a 1/4 inch by 20 thread pitch, which, if I remember, seems pretty standard for whenever I've taken a flywheel off an outboard. So why stop a good thing, right? So it's just, there's nothing new about threading or about tapping small holes. You just make sure you start as level as you can, and once you get a bite, you make sure you break off the chip you formed as you go further in the hole, and make sure you keep everything moving and lubricated. It cuts pretty easily. And if I don't think I got this one perfectly square when I drilled it, but it should be okay. If I had a drill press, it would be better, but such is life. You work with what you got. I think I'm getting through. You can see I'm casting a lot of shadow, but there's not much I can do about that now. So my apologies for that. I'll fix it in post. Is that what they do all the time now? Okay, so I'm through, and after this I should have a plethora of nice crisp threads. Yeah, can we see that? Can you see threads? Yeah, you guys can see the threads. And hopefully the bolt I intended will thread into it. And it does. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to do the next one. Then I'm going to put this back on. With impunity, because I know I'll be able to get it back off later. Okay, so I got the flywheel all tapped. It is ready to go back on. And then we can see if this guy will start. I really think it will. We got all the ingredients. We got good compression. We got spark now. I just got to slam some gas in cylinders. The carburetor still needs all the things, but it seems complete. So I'm going to put that through the ultrasonic a second time and order a kit for it, but it looks like it's all there. But yeah, that should work out. But yeah, if this thing starts easily enough, then for 40 bucks and a couple hours of work, and I didn't even do much like research on this guy. I just kind of started from what you saw and just me checking the compression earlier. Though those throttle cable cams will be interesting. But yeah, I'm actually excited. It's not very scientific, I know, but I've never had one come off. Maybe you'll witness it. Maybe you'll be the first to see it. Yeah, I'm just spinning it like this and it's sparking. How awesome is that? So I got the 2 plugs that came with it now. It appears to move freely. So let's take a look here. It's Bendix. I don't hear good things about them. There you go. It's a good spark too. I like it. Okay, make sure these cables are out of the way. Nothing's gonna come out and bite me if it starts for a couple seconds. I guess I can use those kill wires to kill it if I must. Just touch them together. What could go wrong, right? Okay. Okay, I'm ready to throw some gas down the cylinders. I use this stuff, True Fuel. I find it, I don't know, just because it's really expensive and it comes in a can, I find that you don't just use it for your lawnmower because you like it for these applications. Also, I use this for to put it in the spark plug holes. And my kids get sick all the time, so they need this. They're all these syringes for their kid medicine. I put 2 and 2 together after we acquired about 1 million of these. So I'm going to give this engine, it looks like, about 50 cc's of True Fuel. Right in the spark plug hole. Anyway. Good for you, or good for you, and a bit more for everyone. Alright. In double quick time, I'll put these guys back in. What do you think? First pull? Second pull? I think second pull. The carb's not in. They'll probably just like belch fire at me at the intake. But that's okay. That's when you hear it pop. I'm going to have these in case they must kill it. Wouldn't go wrong, right? Okay. Stay neutral. Oh. Oh man. Yeah, it's backfire at me. gonna try the old cord around the top. So I come to realize I don't think it would be a good idea to start this right now. I mentioned those throttle pulleys. So look here. So here is the advance, and I think when I was trying to start it, it was way advanced, and it was just fighting against me. I tried to pull at it with just a rope around here, and it had a massive backfire, and like, no big deal. But once I get the carbs and I figure out how to thread all these guys around these cams and whatnot, the advance will be set up properly. So I think it's worth it to go forward. There's a ton of compression in this guy, and it's got really good spark now. It goes in gear. So yeah, I look forward to working on this funky thing some more. I think that's so cool. The old Elgin. Right on. Well, that's it for today. Once I get the carbs done, I will be back. Au revoir. See where I put my, oh, there it is. So that Johnson I fixed up, it's no one wants to buy it. I got a bunch of messages, like people wanting to trade stuff and all these big ungodly things that I don't have space for, and I'm not interested in that. So right now I got listed for $350 Canadian. I don't know if that's a good deal or not. I just want to get rid of it. Kind of doing it for the vids now. But yeah, 25 bucks paid for it. I don't know, put like 80 bucks worth of parts in it. And it's the time really that makes it kind of not worth fixing these up for. But a message to all you kids out there: if you enjoy anything, it's fun, but don't expect to make stacks doing this. All right, I think we're in the ballpark, I think. So I'm gonna hit that with some fluid film or something, just so it'll slide better when I new WD-40. There we go. Got a crisp new bottle of WD-40, and we will anoint this pulley with it. Loosen that screw, and hopefully everything slides around a bit. So all I have to do is turn it so the dial here, right now it's all jacked up. It says it's, I don't know where it is. Where's it pointing? It's like pointing, wait, there's stop. That doesn't look right. We'll have to synchronize the dial with the cogs, and yeah. All right, so we're still cranking away on these cams here, or pulleys here. So it turns the right way when I turn everything. Now what I'm hoping is that you get in there. What I'm hoping is that when I get all this tightened up again and unscrew this guy down here, I'll be able to adjust it, and the wheel will spin inside of it, so I can get that right, and the handle will point to where it should point. Right now it'll work as it is after I tighten it, but we can do better than that, I think. So I will tighten up the tensioner, and then we'll see if my idea will work. I hope it works. I don't want to pull that apart again and mess around. But if I must, then I must. So yeah, I got this thing for 30 bucks. I thought it was complete. It wasn't. Still worth what I paid for it? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. We'll see. I think it's cool. I don't know if that means anything. Okay, let's see if this will work. I need to unscrew that guy. I think I'll put a screw head on a ratchet to do that. Got a 1/4 inch somewhere. 1/4 inch drive. Where are you at? Okay. Will this fit? Probably not. Oh yeah, of course not. Oh yeah, vice grips. And those solve everything, as we know. Probably pick at that now. Okay. Now I'm going to pry that cable out of the little holder. This tiny screw, well, not tiny, but it's with this suitable screwdriver, we'll call it. And hopefully it wants to come out. Loose. Maybe it's too tight now in here. Could that be a thing? Maybe I need like a pick or something. Oh, here we go. Seems to be working better. Come on in. Okay, there we go. Okay, yeah, it's moving. Good, good, good. Okay, that's awesome. So, let's put it in stop, which should be way over here. There. now. Now that should be where it's got to be. What if I put it in fast? Okay, that should turn. I think we can do better than that. Still stops a bit before fast. I want to adjust it at fast so it looks, that's where it has to go. So now I'll loosen that off again. Oh, maybe it's on the wrong cog or something like that, but I think we're good. Okay. I'm gonna tighten the screw there. I think that'll be okay. Yeah, it stops when it says stop, it stops when it says fast. It's turning the right way, which is pretty rad. Okay, I'm going to tension these back up and hopefully we're good. what is it, 40 cents above G flat. I think we're there. Okay, anyway. Just something we'll have to get used to for the now, but I'll fix that later. Now I gotta find something to deal with the carb issue. I will be right back with that. Okay, back with the Elgin. What I'm hoping to do for this one, gotta fabricate a piece. Between the carburetor and the swash plate, I'm missing a part that I need for this thing to run properly. It's there should be a roller that engages this plate here that makes the throttle butterfly turn on the carb, and I don't have one. And these engines are so obscure that I can't find one online. I'm gonna try to make one. That's what I'm doing today. That's what we're doing today. So I got a new bench vise so I can finally do these kind of things. And I'm gonna try and get it started anyway. Using this. This, after some fabrication, will sit. You guys can't see that. You see, no you can't, you can see my finger. Okay, do we see this hole here? That's for a bolt. And this plate, I gotta grind her down a bit, but it's gonna sit on that bolt hole. And then this part, after I cut it down, will receive this roller. And then, where is it? And this, after I drill it through and tack it on, will fit over this. And it will all engage somehow and move the throttle plate. So it's going to be something, but this all moves free even when I clamp it down, so that'll work. I'm gonna have to put some little C clips in there so it doesn't move. Basically, imagine a roller on this and this thing acting to move the throttle on there. So when the roller moves on that with the cam, this will engage the throttle. There's a good shot for you. So if you can imagine that, that's how this thing's gonna sit. So that way, when I turn the throttle, it ramps up. There will be under spring tension, so this will stay like that. All the while, on the other end, we'll engage that. You can see that moving. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, it's ambitious, maybe, or maybe it's not, I don't know. But the first thing I'm gonna have to do, I think, is cut the plate down because it's a little too, doesn't sit very well on that. It's got to have a bit of an angle to it. So I'm going to shape that maybe more like that and bang some holes in it where it will take that bolt. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I got my saw at the ready. Here's a look at the angle I'm going to take. I'm just going to go straight across. Nothing really scientific about this. But yeah, the saw is dull and this will be fun. Now the big question is, are we happy with that? Okay, I just had to take the garbage out. Yeah. Life goes on, right? Let's see if that fits any better. If it does, I'll bring you in. Gotta do some more cuts. I think I'll be bold with this one. It's hot. So that'll still turn well, which is good. Just gonna file all the pointiness off it. It's like it rolled right off the factory, eh? Oh yeah. Okay. See if that's better. I'll show you. You're probably all wondering what's going on. Almost went through a second phone there. But it's unscathed. Anyway, so here we go. We got this guy. It's going right in there. I need to cut that little relief out just to give room for the arm to swing and it wouldn't hit up against the carb manifold there. So that's where we're at. It looks like it'll line up with the throttle plate okay. Now I just gotta sandwich it all in there and hope it's good. So I'm gonna start by figuring out where to drill a hole and then put the bolt and then we'll move from there. First we gotta unround that loop on the end there. So I'm gonna go to the latest or the last bit of straightness on that. If I have to trim it down, I gotta trim it down, but You know what they say, measure once, cut twice, right? I gotta cut this guy down to size. Just so I can... All right, that'll be easier to work with. And it'll still hold. Cool. So I'm gonna drill with this little throttle, I don't know, actuator, what do you want to call it? I want it to be a bit of an interference fit because before I tack it on, I want to be able to adjust it to make sure it's adjusted right. So here we go. Okay, so now that it's kind of all together, that's what it's going to look something like that. Oh, I got it on upside down. Or maybe I don't. But it's going to look something like that. So cam actuates this pushes down the throttle butterfly. You can see it all here. Yeah, that opens the throttle. So, I don't know. We'll see. Next, I gotta find a bolt that's gonna fit. Hey, so I don't have it finished yet, but I got it functioning. So this is what it looks like. Maybe you got a better light there. Yeah, there you go. You can see it here. So it seems it's very sturdy. I'm surprised how sturdy it is. I still have to tack this thing onto, where's my finger there? I'll tack that onto the rod, but it's friction fit right now. Well, that's not helpful. Maybe that's a better angle. There we go. But yeah, it actually, I'll hook you up in the stand. You can see it work. It's not under spring tension yet, but it's terrible. Is that better? Not much. Okay, so I got it kind of working, and I'm surprised how sturdy it actually is. It's not under spring tension yet. I still yet to hook up the throttle linkages, but I'm brimming with confidence. I'll show you just under tension of my fingers, but so here it is here. So it'll be pushed like that, and it's strong like this. This thing is press fit on, and when I was pressing it on, I was I was reefing on this apparatus that was bolted down, the one you saw me fab up, and it didn't budge at all. I'm going to still secure it further with a lock washer, but this isn't under too much pressure either, so I think this is going to work. I really do. So yeah, I gotta put some circlips on these. I gotta kind of index where everything's gonna land, but I'm not seeing any interference with anything. It can move freely. Yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised, to say the least. Anyway, I wanted to show you that. I'll hook up some sort of linkage for this. I guess I'll have to put the throttle on somewhat securely for that. And then we'll be literally, not literally, but we'll be off to the races. Yeah, I like it. Okay, neat. I'll be back once I have something kind of fabbed up for a linkage. Coolness. All right, it looks like it's working. I still have to bolt it all together for realsies, but yeah, I gotta figure out the cable swivel. What also, you have the option. I figured that I could adjust the holes where the throttle is. I have to go with the outermost hole because it probably swings a bit further than what was originally there. But if you look in the carb, you can see through the choke there. You'll have to take my word for it, but when I hit the top of the throttle, it's actually level right there, and that's totally in the fast position, and the throttle body is actually as open as I can go. It doesn't like overswing, which is a concern I had. But yeah, I'm gonna call this a win. Now obviously, like, I'm still gonna look for the OEM part. I just want to make sure this guy would run. But yeah, once I get it all, see, look at that. Yeah, that's awesome. But yeah, I'm gonna bolt this all together. I think it'll work. I really don't see why it wouldn't. Anyway, yeah, more to follow on this beauty. Happy with that. Once I get it all tacked together, I will return. Peace. All right, don't make fun of my welds. Well, that's not going anywhere. Okay, here it is. It's all done. I'm about to bolt it on. And I think after I do that, we will be able to, yeah, I'm not a welder. We'll be able to start this up for the first time in I don't know, a long time. But yeah, it all moves freely. It'll be pretty secure. It felt really secure when I had it on before. And it's not like it's under a ton of tension either, so I'll be happy with that. I gotta find a better roller, but this will do for now. Sweet. Let's put this on and put some gas down the spark plugs, I guess, and just make her pop for the first time in a long time. I'll get the stand. So you're looking right here. Yeah, I don't know anything about these engines though. I've heard just anecdotally that they have a good strength to weight ratio. Sorry if my arm's in your way. Just kind of. Hey, look at that, we got it. Oh, yeah. Okay, I see it. Magnetic tip. Of course not. Okay, let's try this again. All right, here we go. There we go. If I try this. Yeah, my hand's in your way. Sorry about that. Again. Finger tight, get it started first and then hit it with the screwdriver. Is that what we're doing? Does it come to this? Okay, it started. There. Huzzah. Okay. Next is this. Probably just saw my arm the whole time for that, didn't you? So this carb. So one thing I don't like about this engine, yeah, all you're seeing is a bunch of hands. Pretend it's AI. There we go. One thing I really don't like about this engine is I think to take out the carb, you gotta take off. Look at that. I love it. Okay, to take off the carb, you actually have to take off like the bowl. It kind of sucks. You gotta take off the bowl and this roller here, it seems. Where are we at? Man. Oh, I got the big old push in. There we go. Gotta take out this roller to get the carb off because the bowl won't make it in unless that roller's off. Unless there's another way. One of you pros out there know. So I'm gonna get the carb back in. I just want to make sure this all fit as I promised it would. But yeah, like that's carb actuation right there, and it feels fine. This thing seems strong. Yeah, I like it. I even have a little cotter pin to throw in there just to make it have that factory finish. And I think I can use the screws from an old, look at that, eh? I think I can use the screws from an old fuel filter from an OMC to fit in there. So that'll be nice. A nice quality of life thing, because it didn't come with screws. That's what it was missing from the car. It was complete except for critical carburetor components and throttle linkages. And for Outboard's throttle linkages, as I now know, are important. See if the crappiest pair of wire cutters in the world can make this cut. Watch your eyes. Ooh, like butter. Yeah, that's it. So obviously, I want to get a better roller. I'll figure something out, but the concept is good. I'll put some still shots of that. Just some good focus. I know it's tricky to see down there. It was hard for me to explain to guys on forums what I was talking about too, just because it's not a spot you typically take a picture of. But yeah, there it is. Okay. Next, carb on. Okay, I got the carburetor on, and let me tell you guys something. This engine, it's a tight squeeze in there, and it punishes you for losing it faster. I was looking for screws, and I was looking for all kinds of crap in there. The bolts, ugh. I lost a bolt for the car, or nut rather. I lost a nut for the carb. And didn't really think much of it until I couldn't find it. It was awful, and I did find it eventually and thought it was all well and good. But then after that, I had to put the bolt on, and that bottom bolt for the carburetor. So it's not left and right, it's like up and down the way the carb bolts are here and there. And this guy here, I had to take, I don't know, it's for IKEA furniture. I had something that was thin and short to get in there. That's what I used. So, yay for IKEA, I guess. But I think we're set. Our throttle is throttling. Our cables are cabling. And everything's WD'd. Yeah, the squeak's coming from here. I don't know how to fix that. From the throttle handle. Oh, I gotta hook up the choke. That's right. There's probably a spring on there somewhere too. Anyway, can use a little schnibbly for that. And hey, I'm gonna put gas down the cylinders. That'll be pretty awesome. It's been a while. I'm excited to do that. Let me just take the world's worst wire cutters and cut that guy. There. So that's the choke. Gears. So let's throw some, let's see if it still sparks. That would be prudent. I got a couple of champions here. That's good. That's good. Okay. I don't know, what are we giving it? 50%? I think 50%. That's reasonable. Some ghetto throttle. Our carburetor that's just hanging on. What's that top? Right there. It was $30 for this guy. That's something. Let's do that again. It's gonna run. Let's try it one more time. No, you know what? We don't have a choke or we don't have a kill switch. I'm just gonna be. No, I'm not happy with that. Let's try it one more time. That's it. Let's go. Just me for a second. That's simple. Use that just in case. We got it. It's one way. Yeah. That's pretty stellar. Okay. That's gonna be it for tonight. Lower units next, I guess, and yeah, order some parts. I'm excited for that. Cool. Okay, more work on the Elgin. Today, I said last video we'd look at the lower unit. I think all I'm gonna do is just crack to see if there's oil in it. Because I already got a lower unit going on with the Viking, which is right there. And I don't want to clutter my workbench with too many lower unit parts. So I'm just going to see if there's oil down there. If there's a bit of oil, I might just hook it up to the hose and see if it runs. I got an impeller on order. I got a fuel pump diaphragm on order. And let's try and get rid of this squeak. It's coming from in the handle, so there's like a roll pin in there. I'm gonna try and punch out, and then hopefully we can lube up whatever is making all that racket in there. So that's where we'll start. Roll pin removal. Think it'll be easy? Kind of something I want to put a block behind. Oh, it's moving. Probably get some vice grips on it now. So yeah, hopefully with the hose on it, we'll be able to see how well it runs, or maybe it doesn't run. So we'll just see how it goes. See that little thing to grab on there. Yeah, sweet really poppy. Me too. Okay, I got a grip on it now. It's starting to move out. I have to try and save that guy. Now hopefully, there it goes. Just comes right off. Now was it in here that was squeaking, or? Let's find out. Okay, there's all this stuff that was squeaking, so I think that's an easy fix. the old what for. Yeah, and there's these seals here that probably wouldn't let water and whatnot get in, which is a good thing, I think. Anyway. Back you go. Here we go. Just play with it from here until there we go. Okay. Okay, I see light. And now we'll push this thing back through. Messed it up a bit, taking it out, but okay. All right, so that is installed. And it won't cut my arm off. And listen to this. You guys hear that? Precisely. You hear nothing. Okay, so we did that. And what are we going to do next? Well, I guess we'll crack the lower unit drain screw and see how much oil isn't there, or see how much water's down there. We'll do that next. Okay, awesome. All right, I got you set up looking at this. So there's the screw that lets out the air, and there's the drain screw right there. I'll get you a bit down so you can see the bucket fill up. So again, we have my Clorox bucket here. There's my big old screwdriver. Okay, I got the big old screwdriver. So yeah, taking bets. Open without much fuss. It looks, I think that's oil. Well, it doesn't look like there's water. Unless I emulsified it all into that. Okay, there's oil in there. And there's no water. So that's good. So I'll drain that once I get the impeller off. I'll change it all out. But for now, what I really want to do is I really want to hook this up to a hose and just actually hear it legitly run. Where's the water intake? Do we know where that is? Oh, okay, there it is. I think it's the water intake right here. Oh, wrong way. Right there. There's a screw that holds that on. I guess I'll remove that, maybe stick a hose up there. See what can be done. I'll see if I can figure something out. Some nice light ray effects coming in there for you. So I got a stubby, hopefully I'll have enough room. Just gotta get it turning. Of course it'll have enough room. Do it. No. Okay, we're talking vice grips, we're talking right angle screwdrivers. Enough? Are we finger tight? Yeah. So far, aside from putting the carb back in, this engine's been pretty stellar to work on. Dare I say, enjoyable. So does this pry right off? Is that? Oh yeah, there it goes. Okay, so what do we got here? This comes off. And there's the water too right there. Okay, cool. Now what of it? I'll probably smash my rubber on like that, stick a hose in there, and that'll flood it with enough water that I could run it. Yeah, we'll try that. Okay, I gotta do some confabulation, and yeah, that's what it looks like. You can see the tube right, right there, that little bit of copper. Okay. Wait out. Okay, we're all set up. I got the fuel lines on. I got my ghetto vinegar bottle with really rich fuel in it. It's supposed to go 24 to 1. So I'm gonna turn on the hose and see how it goes. All right, I think the impeller's getting the water it needs on the lawn. pretty stellar. That's amazing. Yeah, I gotta look at the lower unit, and I'm gonna start up once more just because I like this stuff. But yeah, it sounds really nice. Yeah, the $30 engine. Love it. All right, I'll leave it at that for this one. Okay, today we're back with the Elgin again. So last time we had it running. When it was hooked up to the hose, it was pumping water, but I got another impeller for it. We'll put that on in a bit. But right now, I think what we want to do is hook up an OMC type fuel pickup for it. From what I understand, there's nothing on it now, but from what I understand, there was, I don't know, it was either proprietary or Chrysler, and I don't know many people who run Chrysler stuff. I think it would be easier to sell and get products for if I decide to keep it, which I may. If I use an OMC style hookup. So the hookup I'm going to take will be from our donor Johnson 25 horse. I'll rip the fuel pickup off that. Okay, so I got my my million-year-old fuel pickup from the Johnson 25 horse and some new fuel line. What is that? Yeah. Anyway, there's a hole right here and the fuel line can run through that. Then here is where the fuel line goes on this barb here. Now, what I'm thinking is this has a mounting point on the back. So is there anything wrong with me mounting it like this? Is that such a bad thing to do? Let's see. Push back further so it's not getting banged around. But like there. Or should I just leave it as a pigtail? What do we think? Just like that. Is that so terrible? I don't think it is. But I have been wrong before. And that would mean I'd have to drill through this. Do we want to do that? This vintage piece? Do you want to do that just for convenience, or should I just leave it kind of flopping? I don't know. Because that would be pretty neat, as in neat as in like tucked away, hidden away, effective neat, not cool neat. If I just had it there. So we'll see. But what I know we must do is hook all this together and see how it works with. Well, it'll work fine. So yeah, that's where we're at now, and I'll hook that up. Just makes it slide on a bit better onto the hose. asking ourselves, is this what we want? I suppose I could leave it, it's like, it's pretty good like that. Maybe, I don't know. And it's not that much of a pain to have it there. It's not like it's gonna be in the way. Maybe I'll leave it like that. It's kind of sitting there by, just by tension. And that way if something does hit it, it's not like it'll break. Because it can just flex. Maybe pigtail's the way. Yeah, we'll see. Okay, so that's that. So now we have that. I just gotta zip tie it. And then that's installed. I guess next we'll change the impeller. Here's the part number for the impeller for this guy. You want to look at the, I think it's the 47 dash number there. That's the one that matters. This one, right? Where is it? Right there. -2. Anyway, it's a Mercury part. I guess Mercury bought out Chrysler. Chrysler bought out Elgin. And that's how it all went down. So we are going to see if this goes on. Let me lift up the engine and we'll get to the lower unit there. We'll try and figure that one out. But I've never taken one of these apart before. Okay, so we're going to take off this lower unit here. I kind of like this. They have screws. Well, I don't like screws, but I like that there's a bolt there instead of a threaded piece of aluminum like in the Johnsons. I gotta say that the build quality of this, it seems pretty nice. Like you can't if you break a bolt, you can just get a new bolt. Whereas the Johnsons, you strip a bolt out, as you may have seen in my 10-horse Johnson video. I had to mess around with tapping and stuff like that. Not a big deal, but not everyone has a tap. It's easier to go buy a bolt. Yeah, so we're taking this guy off. 7/16. This lower unit's only gonna come off for a second. And then go back on with the impeller. Yeah, so after I get the impeller on, I'm gonna drain the lower unit oil and drain the lower unit oil, put more oil in it. I'm gonna run it in the water and see how it holds up. Because I do, so these things over here anyway, they don't really command a great price. Like if I got this thing up running nicely, probably 250 bucks is what I'd end off at. Mind you, I've paid 30 bucks for it, and all I bought so far was the impeller, which was $17. And I also got a fuel pump gasket or diaphragm, and that was like 20 bucks or something like that. So I'm not sure if this thing's even been off. So yeah, all that to say, yeah, and the fabricated part, like, I'm cool selling engines with all their original parts, but I'd be comfortable running it myself, because I tell people I'm a safe boater, but I can't say the same for others. So does this just fall out? Okay, I'm gonna put a bolt back in. So just on finger tight, because we got to take that guy off right here. Looks like a jam nut. That'll keep me in the ballpark when I put it back on. Probably 7/16. Yes. Yes. No. Yeah, let's do this. So 7/16 and 3/8. This thing's never been off. I'm peeling paint out on this guy right now. Okay, I think we can take this off now. So let's do that. After I get this guy off, it should just want to drop right out. Yeah, there we go. Beautiful. Put some threads. Okay. The much ballyhooed Elgin lower unit with impeller housing. It all looks in good shape just from a visual inspection there. Okay, let's bring you up to the bench there. This looks like an impeller housing. So I'm going to open this beauty up, throw in our new impeller EC, and we'll put it back together. Maybe I'll drain the, nah, we'll put it back together. It always coming out one way or another. A couple of big screws. When you buy an outboard that's used, unless maybe it came from a mechanic that you trust. Or if you trust the guy that sold it to you, you change the impeller. I think all lower units come off relatively the same. Couple bolts or screws, and then there's a housing with a rubber propeller in it that you change out. Got an O-ring on the shaft here. Hopefully that doesn't turn into dust. Ooh, it's pretty, oh yeah, it turned into dust. I think I got another one. O-ring, dust, sad face. Okay. And it's gonna fit. So we got ourselves here a 10 fin O-ring. That's what came off. That's what I'm putting on. So I've heard of this, and I've heard that this one will pump just fine. You see, this thing looks fine. It looks okay, but is it? I'm gonna keep it just to get a part number off it. Maybe replace it later down the road with what came with it. But yeah, this should just slide right on. What's nice about these old things is the people who okay, that's good. The people who know about them, they're often really passionate about them, which is great. And they'll give you all the, they want to pass it on. So if you got a question about these, they got answers, which is awesome for me. So we're turning clockwise. He's getting jammed up on the edge of the bench by the prop. But we're good now. So there you have it. That is a to impeller, folks. Gotta line up the screw holes. And get the screws. Yeah, I'm glad that fits. It's what I expected to find in there. It's just again with these old things, you never know. You gotta throw a bit of hope in. Gotta throw a bit of hope in there when you go order a part, or unless you go to the dealer and then you can look at it at least. So yeah, that's one impeller done and dusted. This guy probably pumps a ton of water though. Wondering if there's... The guys on the forum said it didn't make much of a difference, so I'll trust their judgment. Oh, the O-ring, yes. We shan't forget about that. Same one? Yeah, okay, it should be fine. Famous last words, right? It'll be fine. Let's throw it back up into the engine. Okay, right back. Okay, so we're putting this guy back on. So the tricky part is going to be aiming the shift shaft. That'll be the tricky part. So when you put this back in, you see that this circle right here, the shift shaft goes up through that. Yeah, you can see the light there. So that's good. That'll make it lining it up a lot easier. And then all we got to worry about is getting this tube in the housing there and sniping this drive shaft into the engine. So now that you got the lay of the land, let's see how it goes in practice. Guiding. Okay, I've made it through. Now I gotta make sure. Okay, it feels like we got the splines there. Okay, yeah, there we go. Did I get the hose? Yeah, okay, I got it all. Let's leave a screw hanging, as we do. Gonna leave this one in super loose, just so we have as much wiggle room as possible. I'm talking 2 or 3 threads on. Okay, there it is, ready to be threaded on. And can you see my marks in here? Did I mangle them up? Oh no, I still see them. Okay, that's good. And I got my jam nut there too. Jamming. So the Johnsons of this era, they don't have anything like this, but there's this nice little big stout detent that you pull back, and then your lower unit frees up. The Johnsons, or the OMCs rather, they do it all by friction. They're fine, but I like the positive engagement. There you go. Put these bolts on. Okay, that should be neutral. That's the direction. That's forward. Okay, so gears mesh up. Super. Lower unit oil next. So I cracked it before just to see that there was oil in it so I could just test fire it. But now we're going to drain the oil and put in some new stuff. Yeah, so there's no water in there. Some old gear oil. So let that drain out and be right back. Okay, so I'm gonna throw some gear oil in here. I'm just using 80 weight gear oil. There's like marine stuff you can get. I don't know. Like it probably like emulsifies water better or something like that. But this isn't going to be on a chartered fishing boat or anything, so I'll be okay with this. And we are squeezing. Okay, well my camera died while I was mid-fill there, but you get the gist. You saw the oil escape through the top, and then I put the 2 screws back in, making sure the plastic grommets or washers were with the screws when I replaced them. So now I've decided I'm going to put the bolt in that. So it's just a 1/4 inch bit. There we go. That wouldn't do well. I'm going to put a washer on that. Anyway, I'll do that tomorrow. I gotta get going. I gotta eat. Okay, it's a rainy day on the lake, and we got the Elgin here for, I wouldn't say it's first run, but for a run. I think I got the bugs out. It's kind of sneezing at me a bit, but yeah, I got a can of 24-to-1. Advised to always run these at 24-to-1 because they don't have needle bearings. But yeah, I got my throttle actuator, the one I fabricated. It seems to work okay. But here we go.
one sweet ride. All right, I hope you enjoyed that one. I might fix up the throttle actuator and like put metal components in it instead of plastic, but I'm gonna call that a success. I gotta land this beauty, so it's been a slice.